Ndị ba anyị ekene m unu. Maazị Aflugo. Anyị abịago ka anyị si abịa. Tata bụ ụbọchị Oye. Enwe m onye mụ na ga-akpa nkata tata. Nwanne biko, kindly tell us about yourself shortly.
Rachard. Mmiri wagburu azụ. Ọbara tụle n'ebe ọbara akwụ n'ebekwa ọbara ọra.
Interesting. For non-initiates, ọbara tụle n'egwu ọbara akwụ bụ edibia, di abia, a master of knowledge. That takes me to my first question. Kedu your definition of spiritual technology?
Spiritual technology bụ our own technology, indigenous to Africans, and more indigenous to ndị Igbo. It encompasses basically ihe ọbụla gbasara obodo ndị oyibo asị na metaphysics and the reality. Ekwubo okwu ọgwụ is the major focus of spiritual technology and ekwu okwu ya. And ọ na-abụ ekwunyite okwu ọgwụ, some people agbaba ọsọ n'ọgwụ. But it's very interesting to know that onye ọbụla na-esi nri na-agwọ ọgwụ. Kedu the difference between ofe egusi na-ete na portion onye ahụ isi na ọ na-arụ arụrụ ana na-etinye? It's the same thing.
Alchemy.
It's alchemy. It's actually programming on its own. Because all of that are actually programming, right? You get the sequence of what you want. You get your tools, your ingredients, your plugins, your everything. I think one of the easiest way to explain it is onye chọrọ isi ofe ọra, ofe onugbu, and ofe ụzụza, right? If you don't know what you are doing, you will start from scratch to prepare everything for each one. But if you know what you're doing, you know that the difference is just the leaves. Abi?
100%.
So, isie di ofe, ilu ebe ha ga-etinyezi the leaves. That is like your plug-in. So you can sell the leaves, the portion, the base. To onye chọrọ isi onugbu, owere onugbu tinye na ya. Onye chọrọ isi ọha, owere ọha tinye na ya. Onye chọkwa na ụzụza, owere ụzụza tinye na ya. Onye chọzikwa na ikpotoko ha niile, ogbokoro ha niile tinye na ya. Ihe niile bụ onye atọ ụtọ. Spiritual technology bụ our own technology, indigenous to our people. Ndị gboo ji wee bi. Ihe ọbụla ha mere achieve, ma mgbọrọgwụ, ma mkpa akwụkwọ, ma isi nri, they are all spiritual technology. That is the focus of it.
Interesting way to look at Ogu. Very, very interesting way to look at Ogu because ndị mmadụ akwadasị anyị nwata na anyị Igbo ekwute okwu ọgwụ onye ọbụla alachapụsị ọsọ.
Eziokwu.
Ma ọ bụ ị na-aga n'ụzọ fe ebe ekele akwa red ma akwa white across on main road. Ịghọtago ịdị ha na shọ na ịgafe ga ebe ahụ ekeditin across takwu again. So do you think that with the renaissance going on, a lot of ndị Igbo na-asị anyị na-emezi omenala, anyị na-emezi ndị ichie, ndị mmiri, chi, agụ, this and that. Do you think that ordinary, the practice of ordinary, goes beyond Imanzu, Igoji, and all these other performances, traditional performances?
Yes, and first of all, the role of technology is to solve problems. Imanzu may not be problem solving, it might be appeasement. Many other things in the Madineme may not be a way of solving problem. It might be a way of them solving their own problem, right? But for it to be fully embraced as a mainstream way of looking at things, it needs to highlight the problems that it is solving. Spiritual technology, as I once mentioned, can also be seen as programming. It's actually a technology for the sentient being. In market and over, and train a data model and they use it as artificial intelligence, right? But we have access to sentient beings. The data model, the artificial intelligence, the AI is trying to get to the level of sentient being, right? But we have access to sentient beings. And we have the ability to emanate sentient beings.
Not to cut you short, highlight what and who is a sentient being.
Alosi is a sentient being. Ogwu agwara is a sentient being. Ihe ọbụla si from Chukwu Okike wee may emanate. Every energy from Chukwu Okike. As a matter of fact, the spiritual technology in question be a way to manipulate raw energy, pure energy. In the normal technologies that you see, they try to manipulate electrons. But here we manipulate pure energy. And all the beings, all the deities, all the celestials, they are all energies with their different signatures and their different capacities. It is a question of being able to apply them in the right manner. The sentient beings are pure energies. Just as the normal technology we have manipulates electrons, here we manipulate energy, right? And there are different ways to move energy through the universe. And for the standard things we know about technology, we use electricity, we generate electricity, we do all of that, right? But we also have our own way of moving energy and manipulating energy, which is through our sacrifices, through our connections to the sentient being. They are the energy source for whatever it is that we want to do, right? So it is a question of having the plugins or the tools that interface with them, and we achieve what we want to achieve. One of the simplest examples is Odieshi, right? It's a bulletproof, and you don't see it. You don't see anybody wearing it, really. There are different forms of it. But the things that are used when they jihadis, and when they animal sacrifices, different forms. And when they are or deal at charge naga. When they are for, yes. But all of that is energy. Then try to imagine the amount of energy it will take to stop a speeding bullet or to protect your body from being caught. Scientifically, when you consider it in terms of electricity, it's unimaginable. Your body can't even hold it. But it's happening because our people know how to manipulate energy, pure energy. And we have our ways of doing it. Not the way that we have known, but a different way, through our sacrifices, through appeasement, through different means. That is the sentient technology.
Okay, now going forward, the Renaissance, to me, the ordinary Renaissance, you go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, you go on TikTok, most importantly. There's the one Ebola, Ndidibi Ebola,
Ezeoku.
Ife Erikezi, right? But at what point do you think that the Dibia, Dibia, at what point does he differentiate himself from the norm, from convention, and starts, because if Dibia, your ability to
yes.
listen to all of them. Yes. So how do you think we can differentiate from that noise and sophisticate ordinary, sophisticate our sentient beings, sophisticate all these things to begin to answer 21st century questions?
So, first, about the Dibia proliferation of the Dibia sheep in these days. And there's a wine sheep in these days. There's a wine and the Dibia. Onye bi also no na arụ ọrụ mmiri the issue of na rolu mmiri na eme nka na settle, which is like the basics that are supposed to be done by our parents 100%. When we were born.
Yes.
Right? But because of it was we tolisi battery anyị ma ọ bụrụ agwata Maazị Dibia ọ sị na atọrọ isi battery anyị because of it was we tọrọ isi battery anyị emere those things. Then oluzie mgbe o ruru ọ bụzia na onye aha nwebezie mishaps, the person now needs to go back and sort their roots, balance their energies, align with the ancestry. But the thing is that, as it stands, it looks like that is all the DBS are meant to do, the SNYs are meant to do, right? And when you look at the people that are even practicing and even going into it, and the people that are, let's use typical example, the people na aga na mgbọrọgwụ na mkpa akwụkwọ, right? There are people with remarkable gifts. I have seen them with very remarkable gifts. I mean, they talk to plants, and plants talk to them, right? And what they are able to do, in most cases, are to treat the simple things. But when you have the knowledge of how the universe works, we are talking about the same knowledge that enable us to travel by a beam of light. The same knowledge that enable us to manipulate energy, stop bullets, stop knife cuts. The same knowledge that enable us to manipulate energy and draw positive energy. Somebody afia there, zuba afia bidozoba. These are different ways of manipulating energy, right? But with this proliferation of DBR sheep, SNY sheep, and everybody is doing the same thing, most of them are learning it, you know, from people that learned it from somebody, another person that learned it from somebody again, right?
It is a watered down.
There is no creativity. They don't even know what they have. They don't know who they are. They don't know the extent they can stretch the powers and the energies. They don't know. And that is one of the things I think we need to start, you know, preaching to them, directing them on the path that they should follow. The DBS of the ancients, they are the ones that modified a lot of fruits and foods we have today. You see, the thing about food, as time goes, climate changes, either water supply reduces and all of that. This rice you see was never like this. Rice before, in the ancient time, you need like actually a waterlogged area to plant rice. In fact, you need a stream to plant rice. You plant rice inside the stream, right? But over time, because of unavailability of that level of water, on the Dibia at that time, behavior were modified by genetics of rice, of things, to adapt to the present condition at that time. But condition continues to change because change is constant. But that generation of Dibia had gone. There are just people that are just following, but they don't know how to apply different things. When we talk about alchemy, what is alchemy? Trying to create different things, right? You know, all you need to do is to fold a molecule in a different way, and you will create a new material. It's one of the things we are working on with the technology, creating new materials, using Ogu to fold molecules, using Ogu to modify genetics of plants. Ndocha, ye haji eme nke ha bụ virus na bacteria, and it's killing people. But we have the raw energy that can actually modify these things. But what you see most of our people doing is na haji eme uloba. They will modify the genetics of your leg, and the cells will grow and blow up. It will grow and blow up. It will grow and blow up. But there are different things that you can do with this technology. Because as we are talking about let our people come home, we should also be talking about how are we going to feed our people. the foods that we have that are going into extinction, and that's a very interesting aspect of it. In the Western science, they make us to believe that things go into extinction, and they do. But in the spiritual technology, kanjuoge ebe niile dibia balo akwona bome ofu alusi abia na ya obia as gini onwe onye kụrụ osisi a onwere mkpụrụ akụrụ that place, but the alusi ga-ekwu na ọ ga-abịa ọbịa. And according to the technology, spirituality, everything has a chi. Aji we nwe chi ukwu bụ Chukwu okike. And everything has a chi, meaning even the things we thought are extinct, their chi still persists. And we can do this demonstration anywhere. Bring that seed or that plant that is far off, just as people are doing now. When you want to make some herbs, you want to do some things, you travel to Ijabode, you travel to Ondo, you travel to so place. Why? Dozieli ha honored. Know the rules. Joa juju. Hisi ge senata the plant na the place never ka inyeli honored. Osisi obuna bụ alụsị. Because o nwere uchi. Inye honored is senata ọ ga-agba na the place. The same place akpọ kaleta agbuji tete si agba osisi alụsị ọbụla ogilishi. The same way ha si agba etu aka nke asikwa wele agba. I have done it, and I have people who are doing it, and we are making our moves to continue to do genetic modification using the ogu, just manipulating pure energies and trying to use it to apply to mainstream, solve mainstream problems. That is what Dibias and Ezewanyas and Akajofos are supposed to be doing. They are supposed to be innovating. They are supposed to be worried about last Jelafia for Ogiri. Ogiri 10 years ago and Ogiri now. Illusion now akwụkwọ ka na-eke. Why? And people are not taking note of these things. Right?
And a lindomi na spaghetti.
And a lindomi na spaghetti. But only gwara na ị ga-agwọrị ụgba na ị ga-agwọrị ya ha. The person but you don't ask, where does this Ogiri come from? Do you know that the people that are doing Ogiri right now are old women? In the next 10-15 years, they will die. I pray for them to live long anyway. But in the next 10-15 years, they are out of the trade. Let's put it that way. Right? But their children are in the cities.
And on a HK.
Mande non a HK. Mande na different things. They don't know what is required for that Ogiri. But more importantly, onye ha travel abroad bụ ana enwere ma kpekpe ma ihe niile eji were eme Ogiri ka ele, and they na ha elelo ego rie clear everything from there ka o wee lụọ ụlọ. So even the source of the thing eji eme the Ogiri is fast depleting. In the next 10-15 years, it will no longer be there. Gwamu the Igbo institution that is taking charge to make sure that these things are preserved. But we're not even talking about preservation because many people are growing. The population is growing. We should be talking about how do we modify this in order to suit the rate of growth. Anya mankwusi iri Ogiri. Mande na agwọ ọgwụ, mande adi agwọ ọgwụ. A na-eri Ogiri. Onye ọbụla na-use it. And it is one of the key things ndị dibia kwesịrị na-eme now. Applying the technology. We have different things that they can get to. Of course, I understand the bureaucracy dị n'ụwa, which ndị ọ na-eme affect na bụ ndị na-enye ọgwụ. Right? Ịbịa na nsị na ị nwere ọgwụ eji agwọ HIV. The World Health ga-akpọ gị. They have set up institutions to rubbish whatever you will bring. Or how I get with the patient. Or how I get all those things. And or how I may test, present your test. We won't all go on a they will do their best to frustrate you so that you go home and they will continue selling their condom and their ARV that they are selling. Abi? But there are ways to also do it. apply this spiritual technology in other ways. When they what happened to the desert areas? They already have dry seeds waiting for rain to just fall. Why wouldn't they apply it to that place? And these are the things that has also led to many other things that we started working on. And talking about building a school to get the new train of Dibia and SNY and direct them in the right path. They will harness that energy early enough, use it as the technology as it's supposed to be.
Not as EHG
Not as EHG Madegu. Not as EHG matrix na street. No. But apply it. I'm not supposed to be saying these things, but there is also the technology we're working on. It makes use of the same DHI that you have, but it's a different version of it. And we intend by the time we finish it, we will sell it to car manufacturing companies. I want to marry one accident. Or one accident or picker, but we know what DHI does. Right? So it's a way of manipulating energy to create inertial dampener that will even make everybody non at the vehicle to survive. Security situation in the state, around the world. Why are people not weighing in on it? So I have these people that I work with, and we want to weigh in on it. The major problem that is making the security forces look like they are not that efficient is because of the smartness of the criminals. They can dismantle ammunition, pack here, and this is something I've you know, maybe other people have also witnessed it. A pack here na diner bu vegetable. Market women, I want to potato, all those, but you don't know what is inside. To you, also vegetable, ogo, be headed there. But they go, the criminals will actually go wait at the front. Then they they couple the gun and go. But we're working on a technology that will actually detect these things, detect these parts. And we hope to sell it to the military around the world.
And this technology is hinged on
purely spiritual technology.
Igbo spiritual technology.
Bam. As a Dibia. Those are the things that we're supposed to be doing. We grew up having this misconception that Alose, what they want, or the ancestors, what they want is for us. The Alose that helps you attain a level in life, help you innovate, you make money, you make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Eh? Kedi ho GFI ahi na ewetele since ahi maria since ahi nwere onye onwugo. These are sentient beings. These are immortals. They don't die. It is the Westerners that are spreading this large belief that air is only this dimension. But we know there are multiple dimensions. We are not arguing and saying whether there are UFOs. We don't do UFOs. We are our ancestors, and our ancestors are us. We are one with them. We talk with them. We commune with them. We do things with them. There are many things that the DBS and SNY are supposed to be doing, but they are not doing it. Maybe they are not seeing the danger. That how do you sustain it? There's only one way for somebody to be a billionaire. You either serve a very large market, or you create a very expensive product. But when you make a very expensive product, who is going to buy? Maybe military application like we're talking about. There are people that are interested in people going to war. You can key into it. I mean, I focus fully on that one too. Right? It solves a problem. It makes money. With that money you make, use it to solve other problems. But when you look at somebody in Enyogu, I see no now, for instance, in Enyogu appendicitis, so that you don't undergo surgery. I mean, it's a very common thing, right? But what happens if everybody that goes to the hospital is supposed to take the concussion for the appendicitis? Where is the man or the woman going to get the herbs? because they are not replanting. Even when you replant, how long does it take for it to grow? That is why the need for many DBS and there's a why to enter into that field of genetic modification of plants and animals. We are doing it. And very soon, we will have our products. It is an area that is very important that we believe that people are supposed to focus on. To me, that is what DBShip should represent. Innovation as an adept, as a master, as a mistress of knowledge and wisdom, not just of this world, but of the universe.
Esoteric wisdom. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting, I must say. So, in conclusion, you mentioned the demand for Ndibo to come back to Southeast, which I am a champion of.
Yes.
But then, on the second thought, Nyon, we are still very, very dependent on the North.
Yes.
For things as mundane as onions.
Yes.
Onions in Kitten.
You know, onions is very far. You know, I once had this argument with somebody in our championship and our move to get independence, you know, of the Igbo race, the Biafra, in our move to get independence of self. Right?
Self-determination.
Self-determination. You need to first of all be independent before we fight for independence. If we are dependent and you're fighting for independence, it will be like somebody papi and you have no way of making money. But you start saying you don't want anything from the family again. And there was this notion flying around. Our people were saying, Obona aka wire off. Na anyị nwere ewu Igbo. Anyị nwere efi Igbo. Anyị nwere ọkụkọ Igbo. There's nothing like ọkụkọ Igbo. There's nothing like efi Igbo. As a matter of fact, ọkụkọ Igbo anyị na-ego, ma ewu anyị na-ego were arụ ọrụ, ọgwụ Hausa ka o si abịa.
Most of them, yeah.
On the Hausa bụ ihe na-eme. We need to start from those things to solve the problems. And don't dibia. And there's a wine or the other. Oboro ịmụ aka onye ọgwụ ya ka ọgwụ ya.
Onye na-eme disappear.
O nwere ihe eji all those things eme. It is to solve mainstream problems. And that's why we are on that move.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That will be the end of this particular episode. Afambo Mazi Anyafulugo Yagazie Nkonyechi Yazelo.